Welcome back to The Legend of Heroes Trails Beyond the Horizon. We are currently still in the rare mineral mine for the treasure chest. Oh. Okay. Force Measure als Plugin. Good. We take a quick look into the Orc Canyon just to make sure there isn't a blue exclamation mark or something here. Doesn't look like it. Okay. Then...
Alright, let's go.
I suspect going to the observatory will continue the time, which is not something I want to do right now. But I want to check it
Shard
out.
searching.
We should conduct some research on space.
So I want to check out if I give him the message that the time will continue. The sun's beginning to set. Now's a good time to go stargazing. This all thanks to Towa and the connection to her grandfather. Opportunities like these don't grow on trees, so I think I'll tag along. Yeah. Hold off. Okay.
What? Too goody-goody to play hooky?
Thank you.
That leaves the connection events. A drink with Crow. Green's group decided to take a short break.
Cheers! Whew, nothing like chugging down a cold one after a hard day's work.
We're not done yet, but I get it. We've still got to consider the Republic's new mech and figure out what its plan affairs entails. Sure, but for now, let's just celebrate our sweet victory. Seriously, it's been ages since we last had a drink together. Not since we dropped by the academy a few months ago anyway. Just try not to drink yourself into a hole, okay? We've still got work to do. I know. Damn, you can be such a hard-ass instructorine. And you can be a little bit of a sloth. Hey, come on, dude. Let's cut loose a little. Alright, why not? We've got some catching up to do. I heard your contract is finally going steady. Sounds like you've gotten used to life in the Free Cities. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, it took a while to get things going. Between dealing with stuff regular folk can't handle, which requires specialist touch, tackling large-scale issues, coordinating negotiations and the works. Suffice to say, I'm never bored over them. Sure sounds like a lot of work. Your work is not all that different from Arkwright's brigand business, though from a different perspective. It really is a sort of job that only you can do, especially considering we got the turfing axe. That, and I'm using all the connections I made after war and during my time at sea. As for the turfing, I had to get the go-ahead from the Empire and other governing bodies of the continent. I had to bargain with them during that whole Jirai independence uproar 2.5 years ago. Right, I'm glad things turned out alright. I know you'd been worried about Jirai for a long time. Didn't you put a stop to the potential riot at the State House? Revealing that you were both C and the grandson of a former mayor, right? I'll be the first to admit it was a risky play. If any of that leaks out to the wider public, then I guess I would have sown. Despite the risk, you still bet on your people. And that bet paid off and won you back your home. Honestly, it doesn't get much better than that. Ain't that the truth? So how's everything going back at the school? This is your 4th year as Class 7's homeroom instructor, right? You gotta be used to it by now. I say this much, it's hard work. Especially since we're getting more and more enrollments each year. I'm barely managing to stay afloat as they bounce me between the main and branch campuses. Sounds like you got a lot on your plate. Sure that ain't too much for one person? Well, I do make a point of asking some alumni and other folk to help when I need it. Just as an example, I did ask Kurt and Ash to hold down the fort while I'm away. Other times I've asked Macias, Eustace, Elliot, and even Gaius to give lectures as guests. The old Class 7, huh? They must be busy in their own right. At some point we really gotta get just us guys together. And obviously invite a bunch of hotties to join us too. It's not really just us guys at that point. Haven't you been enjoying the nightlife a little too much these days? You're a grown man now, Crow. You gotta practice some restraint and... Spare me the lecture, I'm only 2 years older than you, pal. If anything, you need to get out more. Learn what it means to be an adult, if you catch my drift. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Golden Bloom got 1st place at the Summer Heimdall commemoration. Seriously, I put it all on Ardent Week. It takes dedication to bet remotely on horse races from another country. Hey, when we get to Edith tomorrow, what say we hit up a casino or a sports book? Oh, and I heard they put on a hell of a show at the local nightclub over there. Is that right? Aren't we here for work? So you're saying you're in? Don't worry, the girls don't have to know. You and I can enjoy the capital's night left to our hearts. And just what don't we have to know about? When did you get here? We came to get you since it's almost time to meet up. Neither of you were answering your cipher. Or just hear us out. Come on, ladies, we're just going to a nightclub. It's no big deal. Yeah, you wanna come with? I heard there's a place where there's a male pole dancing. We're not going. Jeez. Glad the 2 of you are having fun. It's been a while since we've gone drinking together, huh?
You're damn right we're having fun.
It is nice to finally have a chance to chat. Since you're here, though, why don't you ladies join us?
No, I'd rather not intrude. We'll be back later to pick you up. But for now, you guys go ahead and enjoy your boys' night.
But make sure to keep it to 1 drink, and drink some water afterward.
Yes, ma'am. You got it.
Hell yeah! 1 more drink, let's go!
Crow and Rian did not in fact stop at 1 more drink, and ended up having 3. Upon finding them drunk, the 3 women laid into the pair, unsympathetic of their headaches. After sobering up, they headed back to work. How quickly are they sobering up?
What, too goody-goody to play hooky?
Okay, we're connected to the long-range network. Can everyone see me? We can see you, Instructor Towa. Oh, this is crazy. So this is how remote classes work. It feels so weird attending one of your classes while you're all the way in the public. Since I'm here for work, I thought this would be a fun opportunity to try something different. It's just an after-school test, so there should only be volunteers in attendance. But it's just me, or are there a crazy amount of people connected? It's not just you. We ended up with over 100 students from both branch and main campuses wanting to participate. There are also some kids here, one-year students, plus kids from other grades, and even people calling in from their dorms. Wow, I guess I didn't put a limit on how many people could join. Just goes to show how interesting this remote class idea is. Sounds like you're going to need some help. Is that you, Instructor Schwarzer? Oh my gosh, Instructor Reen's going to teach us too? I'm just here as an assistant, you guys. Since this class isn't part of a curriculum, let's cover a broad range of subjects. Right, good idea. Let's begin. Thank you very much. That's all for the video explanation. The Great Cheddar Triangle is visible in the summer, and you can use that to find all kinds of constellations. Wow, astronomy is so cool! Now I kinda wanna take your astronomy class. It's so easy to follow along when you're playing a video at the same time. It would be great if in-person classes had them too. Does anyone have any questions? The first person who raised their hand was Anila from class 4. Go ahead. His visual acuity is crazy. And then that's why... Do you... Sorry, Ween. The sound... choppy. Could blow... more time? Ah, something's up. Oh, there's a stream delay. I guess that makes sense considering how many people joined over such a long distance. Hold on, I'm going to use the mirror server we're borrowing from the Institute of Science to help do some processing. How's the stream now? Ah, the video and audio are back to normal. Well done, Instructor Towa. Wait, since when there were over 200 people on this call? That's pretty much every student between the main and branch campuses. This way beyond what I was expecting. No wonder we had connection problems. That's cool and all, but there's something I've been meaning to ask. Oh, is there something you didn't understand? So, like, you two are in the same room, right? Then does it mean you're sharing a room? Huh? Of course not. There are other people with us, so... This is totally one of those workplace romance things, isn't it? At a hotel too? No way, Instructor Thors doing something like that? I told you, these two have been suspicious for ages now. Instructor Reen, say it ain't so. Settle down, that's quite enough frivolous speculation. Or do you want me to give you all extra homework for your next class? I was just kidding. We behave, so please don't. Gosh, we're continuing the lesson, okay? And that will be all for today's lesson. Everyone, make sure you review what we covered. When we get back to the academy, and we'll also be holding practical classes, so be ready. Okay. Everyone, rise. Thank you very much. We made it through in one piece. Thanks for helping out, Reen. It was my pleasure. Honestly, I had no idea what we could do once that many people logged in. Never thought I'd be teaching so many students at once. Remote classes, huh? Now that I experienced one for myself, it's clear they come with their own unique difficulties. Still, it's pretty incredible if we can do a lesson from another country entirely. Indeed, if the technology continues to improve, I feel like the teaching profession could change completely. Maybe even education as a whole. Humanity has come so far, we're even on the verge of going to the stars. A place we'd only been able to observe with telescopes. I guess what we find up there might force me to rethink my astronomy classes. Hey Towa, forgive me if I'm wrong. I know you came to Basel to back us up and that you wanted to hold this remote class while we're here. But there's something else you wanted to do while we're here, isn't there? I mean, you went out of your way to get permission from Professor Hamilton and Vern's CEO to go up to the observatory. Was it that obvious? You're right, I feel like I might learn something. Something about my grandpa. A grandfather, huh? He was the director of the Imperial Museum. Oh, but that's just a piece of it. Really am curious about the telescope. Not hard to see why. It's supposedly the most advanced telescope on the entire continent. We've gone stargazing together a bunch before. Do you think it's going to be very different? It's on a whole nother level. I can't wait. We haven't checked out the stars together in a while, you know? Now that I think about it, it's been a long time since we taught a class together too. You're right. It doesn't help that emissions have been increasing every year since the war. My class is located on the branch campus, and since you're a senior instructor for all of Thors, your battleground is the main campus, so to speak. Even when we do both travel between campuses, we're still not teaching classes together. What I mean to say is, the remote experiment really brought me back to when the branch campus first opened. I feel the same way.
Everything happened so fast back then. My whole life changed at dizzying speeds. Doing that remote class just now helped me understand something. There are things that don't change. And those things are extremely precious to me.
Yeah, it's the same for me. Not just focusing solely on doing things efficiently, but by putting everyone's heads and hearts together. That's part of what makes Thors Thors.
Exactly. Say, when we get back to the Empire, would you be willing to talk about your experience working at Artemis? Maybe convince them that the branch and main campus could run joint classes together? I mean, I'm sure that would just make things busier for us, but still.
I'm up for it. Let's give it our all. We can do it if we do it together, Reen.
After that, Reen and Towa put away their equipment. Then they met up with their friends to resume work. And reloading for the thought.
What, too goody-goody to play hooky?
Nusstorte challenge. Reen's group decided to take a break.
Welcome, everyone!
Sorry to drop in so suddenly. Oh no, it's no trouble at all. Though I certainly didn't expect you'd ask me to teach you how to make Nusstorte. We tried some this morning, it was delicious. We had some at the inn. We are really curious as to how Professor Hamilton makes sauce. Since we learned it varies household to household, we thought we'd send some back to our friends in the Empire since it's supposed to keep. And that's how we ended up here. What a wonderful idea. I'd be happy to help. Professor Hamilton already taught me her recipe, so I can give you all the details. Thanks a lot. I can help out with anything you might need. Thanks, Reen. And so the group began to make Nusstorte under Associate Professor Esmeralda's tutelage. First we have to go over basics of making dough. Make sure to mix it thoroughly. You know, it'll taste even better if you think about who you're making it for while you mix the dough. Really, that doesn't seem very scientific. Perhaps not, the professor always said that while making sweets is a science, it's also a form of love. I always think of Kato or Yang whenever I'm mixing. I see, it's time to show off everything I learned from my forced cooking classes. In that case, I chop the nuts. Can you give me a hand, Reen? I'm on it. Wow, I can always smell the caramel. You have to keep gently stirring so that it doesn't burn and stick to the bottom of the pot, right? Right? Once that's done, we add the whipped cream. Did you know this whipped cream comes from the milk of cows that live in the highlands just outside of Basel? I see, Professor Hamilton must prefer sourcing local ingredients. Just hearing you say it makes me hungry. I get wanting to have a taste, but you have to stay strong, Ellie. I'm not Milliam, okay? I'm not going to just dig in. Now we just have to bake the dough and caramel that we put into the mold. Oh. What a lovely aroma. It's sort of nostalgic too. Isn't it? Whenever I stay the night, Professor Hamilton would always bake some for me. I take it this is like the smell of home for you then? I can understand that.
And done.
These turned out better than I even imagined.
Yes. They look like they could be served at a restaurant.
I'll go ahead and slice one up.
Mmm. This flavor. Indeed. It's like each bite warms my heart.
Right? This is Professor Hamilton's signature Engadine-style Nusstorte. The secret ingredient? Love, of course.
I can't believe how delicious this is. Thank you so much, Esmeralda. William is going to love this. Ah, Laura, Emma, and Alisa too. You're sending some to your friends in the Empire, right? Are they part of Thors too? Yes, Milliam is basically my big sister. She can be careless and sometimes annoying, but she's very dear to me. She was our classmate too, Ween and mine that is. And Laura and the others are just as important to me. They watched over me as I grew up. When you add in the guys and the new members of Class 7, then I guess there's a lot of people who are dear to me. I see. So they're like your family, Ween too? Yeah, exactly. They're irreplaceable. After having a pleasant chat, Esme went out of her way to arrange for the Nusstorte to be sent to their friends in the Empire.
Maybe it's because of our conversation, but I really want to see Milliam now.
Yeah, Laura and the others too. I had a chance to go visit the Empire a little while back, but I haven't seen them in almost 3 months.
Everyone's been so busy that it's been hard to find time to meet up. Once we wrap up everything here, we should plan a reunion or something.
I'd like that.
Then we need to make sure we do what we came here to do.
After that, the three of them met back up with Towa and Crow and resumed their work. Now this was not too special. I would consider it about equal to the one with Crow. Maybe slightly above only, but I definitely want to keep that of Towa, and I think I keep this because it's for 2 characters at once.
What, too goody-goody to play hooky?
Good. And since we basically have infinite time left,
Performing search.
I would begin with the exploration today. I don't know, depending on how long it is,
Let's search around.
if we do this 1 or 2 episodes, so definitely for the rest of this episode. I don't know if I make it just a long episode or 2, depending on how long we do this. Depending on how long this is. I see, we should now be able to efficiently implement your new theory. The formula Professor Callan left behind, it's amazing you found new ways to apply it. No, I have both of you to thank for helping me with proof of concept tests. I also received advice from Professor Concrete on my theories. Either way, we're one step away from practical implementation. Let's really put our backs into this.
Any day now.
Last year, Professor Callan left behind a certain unexplored formula before taking his place with the goddess. There were times when I resented the man, but the fact remains that I did and still do respect him. There's still much untapped potential in the research he left behind. I will uncover its secrets, even if it takes me the rest of my life.
Shard searching.
Can't go in here. you're from ZCF in Libel. I had no idea you were here. I appreciate all your help when we're building the new communications installation in Libel. Your help was invaluable in getting us set up on the Cypher standard. I just want to take this chance to offer you my thanks again. Please, if anything, I appreciate all the advice you gave me for my thesis. I've been going back and forth with Ray over Orkmail, but I'm still so nervous to actually speak with him in person. I respect him a lot and I'm really happy I get to see him again, I think. Wonder how long he's going to be in town? I guess the rumors of her being shy are true. But she's got a sharp mind. I could tell as much through our correspondence. I'd love to take this chance to exchange ideas. I heard you were involved with developing the core system of the R-State too? I would love to hear more of the Orbital Communication Standard and the Control Holo if possible. No problem. There are a few things I'd love to hear your thoughts on as well. The Vern Company's joining the tech union, so I'd be happy to exchange info whenever possible. Hello there, this is Professor Esmoy's lab if you are curious. Her work with the space program has unfortunately seen her absent recently, but she focuses primarily on researching cutting-edge biological science here. Prosthetics, biomaterials, regenerative medicines, things that are made with the aim of benefiting society. That being said, however, the professor does tend to be a bit of an airhead at times, which as her assistant is where I come in. Ah, you must be ones Professor Hamilton spoke of. Welcome to the Basel Institute of Science. As you can see, exams have just ended, so all of the major facilities are open. The professor has already left, but other guests of honor are present, so perhaps you would like to meet them? Perfect timing, freshway student. I just happened to find myself in urgent need of animal corpses. I'm going to turn them into seed beds for a rare specimen of Myxomycete, and I need your help. Corpses? Are you serious? We're not exactly biology majors here. That's not gross. It's not gross, you see, this is a rare species that emits light in dark conditions. And I have you know, Myxomycete germination is a highly captivating process once you see for yourselves. I run into researcher Lionel every now and then, but man, he's such an oddball. He's weird and kind of a super nerd, but he's also kind of funny. Oh, don't tell me you're into that sort of thing, Liz. I can see dark times in store for you.
No.
Everyone gets so creeped out when I talk about fungi. Is this a peerless Institute of Science? Whatever happened to the dignity and freedom that comes with being a researcher? Actually, I need to start considering my major and what seminars I'm gonna take. Fungi are pretty whatever, but what if I majored in studying this guy? That sounds fun. At least a little bit, anyway.
Be sure to eat a balanced diet, you hear?
Welcome to the Institute of Science famous student cafeteria. All that unavoidable last-minute cramming before exams tends to lead to unhealthy habits, right? That's why when you're done with your exams, you need to make sure to eat properly and restore your energy. Don't even think about celebrating by going out drinking.
Running a search.
Professor Hamilton has been a great help to Elsheim over a great many years. She returned greenery to our capital and made many environmental and infrastructural improvements. I hope to someday repay her for all she's done. It seems you've become more dependable, though you still need to back it up with your actions. However, if you end up making a fool of yourselves again, I'm gonna kick your ass, got it? Right, I won't betray your trust. In all honesty, I still can't believe Cohen tried to do that. That said, I'm glad you brought things under control before it reached the point of no return. You have my gratitude. I need to refocus my energy so that something like this never happens again. I suppose there's no way to prevent Prince Sharid from saying something like that. But he once again acknowledges me as the CEO, so I need to produce results that live up to his expectations. One could even say that the incident last year allowed me to say farewell to the spoiled attitude I had up to then. I can no longer rest on my laurels. I'll go back to my original enthusiasm and tackle the problems I have in front of me.
No.
The reason this college exists as it does now is because of Professor Hamilton. You can catch glimpses of her influence and achievements all over the place, so hope you enjoy your tour of the college. So you developed this tarot program all on your own, Elijah? That's right, I made it when I was enrolled at Aramis, and I've updated it multiple times. Would you like to give it a try? Unfortunately, I don't believe in fortune-telling. I believe that luck is something you make for yourself. Is that so? My goodness, I introduced astronomy and incorporated more complex calculations into my program. But the people here are so pragmatic, it's been difficult to secure any testers. I'm so curious about the propellant that they're using for the support engine of a rocket. I couldn't even focus on my experiment. That might be bad news in more ways than one. I get the feeling I might have filled the answer sheet with my hypothesis about what kind of compound formulas they're using for the propellant. Never mind getting zeros, I might get called into the professor's office. Well, I guess this is what happens when you cram. There's no need to fear. Confident I got perfect marks on the practical portion of my chemistry exam. In fact, if my presumption is correct, I might even get bonus points. Now I'm more curious. I must experiment later.
Running a search.
Performing search. Performing search.
It's outside.
Shard searching.
Good. Later.
Let's search around.
Regarding the rocket patent,
No. I just wanted to see if you had something else to say to me.
Performing search.
Shard searching.
Okay. In astronomical terms, conjunction refers to when the Septian planets and the Sun align the same direction. The Great Conjunction in particular is extremely rare. That's when the Sun, Moon, and Septian planets are all aligned together. That celestial show only takes place once every 1,000 years. Professor Latoya Hamilton. This paper was written almost 50 years ago, but the conjunction she writes about will happen this summer if I remember correctly. I know the space program is a big deal and all, but personally I think it's pretty cool as well. By the way, you all don't seem to be students here. Are you visitors or something? As you can see, we've got a ton of important material and data derived from the free disciples stored here. You're free to look around, but please be careful not to damage anything.
Let's search around.
Alright. Now that exams are over, can you please help me out with a theme for my graduation thesis? Personally, I'd like to go with the organic expansion of city functions, or maybe the possibilities of living spaces in outer space. I see you as passionate as ever, and it seems you've even grown an interest in spaces of late. Let me think. Perhaps the era of humanity living in space for long periods of time isn't all that far off. There's much to think about on that end. The effects of gravity, the use of building materials, water and food. One might say it's a perfect theme for someone as tenacious as you. Thank you very much. I guess I'll start seriously looking into it. The places where people go about their lives. In other words, I believe you can classify such places as cities. I've done research from all manner of perspectives, but if I approach this concept from a point of view of space? The reason I even got this idea was because I was working a space-related part-time job at the Orbis store in the capital. She's the most passionate researcher in my seminar. I've no idea what kind of graduation thesis she's going to write, but I look forward to seeing what kind of compilation of urban engineering she comes up with. That aside, I get the distinct feeling that Lionel is off causing trouble once again. We're from the same graduating class, but he tends to get sucked into everything he does.
Shard searching.
Can't enter the toilets.
Running a search.
I used to perform simulation experiments with Professor Callahan's lab. But after everything that happened, I'm now an independent researcher in the field of theoretical physics. The calculations aren't nearly as large-scale as they were back then, but it's still quite impressive. I plan on slowly accumulating research results, and it serves as a bit of personal rehabilitation as well. Yeah, that was the lady that in Daybreak 1 had suicidal thoughts. It's a bit fortuitous that Professor Cronkite returned despite how busy he is. Thanks to that, I was able to get some advice on my high-precision weather simulation that utilized observational satellites. If all goes well, I'll be able to contribute to the afforestation project in my home of Elsheim. I want to ride the momentum of all this space development, make this happen. There's still a wall preventing me from raising the accuracy of my weather simulations. I need to make this work so I can contribute to the afforestation project in Elsheim. To that I would have loved to get Professor Hamilton's advice, but it would appear that she already left. It's unfortunate, I just have to wait for my next opportunity.
Running a search.
I see, so a cooling system was installed in the Orbital rocket. Correct, it's a new technology developed to make sure the extremely powerful Orbital engine can be used to its maximum potential. It's a boost system that utilizes liquefaction coolant. I helped develop it, but I see, it truly is a collection of cutting-edge technologies using the power of science.
Shard searching.
I acquired significantly better data than I expected from this exercise. You have my gratitude, Thors. When I return to the base, I must provide feedback to Excalibur. As I previously notified you, you've all been invited to the ceremony in the capital the day after tomorrow. As long as you get there in time, you'll have unrestricted access. You can freely explore as much as you like. If I remember correctly, you're going to be taking a look at the observatory, right? I'm sure you're all exhausted, so do try to get some rest.
Shard searching.
Mira for our efforts.
Good.
Let's search around.
Alright, I heard that researcher Athena was promoted to associate professor. She helped for our company's research last year, so maybe I should get her a congratulatory gift and swing by. But she can cut shy if I show up out of nowhere. Will she even meet with me?
Performing search.
Care to stop by for a breather?
Looks like exams are over, so I figured I'd show my appreciation for the students and all their hard work. Basel really does have beautiful sunsets. I love the view from here. A lot of people have been really busy these days. I'd love for them to stop and take a break.
Any day now.
What can I get for you? Hope it's to your satisfaction.
Let's search around.
Shard searching.
I brought the children along to two of the workshops, and thankfully they quite enjoyed it. Experiences like these in their early years will undoubtedly broaden their future horizons. Even an old biddy such as myself found it stirring. They call the sort of technology cutting edge, yes? What to be so ubiquitous is simply astonishing. It also does my heart well to see the little ones get along so famous with that girl from Langport. Jet can be a bit of a fuss budget, yet even he opted up to her without much fuss. Hopefully making a new friend will help him grow out of his cynical phase. That was kinda interesting actually. You can find crazy machine like those just anywhere. It threw me off that these workshops even use them before ancient places. Yeah, huh? It was pretty cool. That's Basel in a nutshell. Old school charm with new school style. It really makes you realize how totally different its history is from Messeldam's. I was surprised too. So many things can change from city to city. Messeldam though, that's where you're all from, huh? Yeah, and you live in Langport, right? I've always wanted to visit there someday. Oh, maybe you can tell us what it's like later? If that's okay, I mean? Sure can, as long as you tell me about Messeldam back. Yay, group story time! I guess it's not the dumbest idea ever. She's just happy, he should just show it. Anyway, Tiantian's a lot of fun. You can tell she really looks up to her sister. I think we're going to get along great. This is really showing me how totally different cities can be from each other, even if they're all in the same country. We're all gonna share stories about where we live once we're back at the inn. I can't wait. That sure got wrapped up in what the artisans were doing. It made me happy to see. And so did making friends with Tiantian. She's gonna tell us all about Langport later. It's like there really is a whole world out there that I know jack about. I never got to leave Messeldam living with my old man, so this stuff never even crossed my mind.
For our traffic report.
I was doing a day drinking vent session with these old artisans when, before I knew it, they took me up with some referrals. Apparently there are workshops whose space program commissions are starting to wind down. I always knew to work with a lens of stats and figures. Now here I am, getting saved by simple human kindness. The least I can do is pay them back on the job. That's what product procurement is all about. Well, there's a present surprise. Who knew Tianshan would get along so well with kids outside of Langport? I say, her trip just went from good to great now, but she's made new friends to spend with. On a separate note, life's been too hectic for us to talk much lately, huh? How are things going? Good, thankfully. Business is booming even more these days. What about you, Yongfu? Your goldfish took second place at an exhibition, right? That's incredible, congratulations! Personally, I'd say you're the incredible one, being a Techijushi level super chef at your age. Still, it feels good to have my slow and steady passion project finally bear some fruit. The store's been doing better than ever as a result, but rather than rest on those laurels, I want to set my sights even higher. Well, I'm cheering you on. Granted, goldfish and cooking don't have much overlap, if any, but the pride of one success after another, the drive they instilled to raise the bar, both are feelings I can empathize with. Thanks. Then lies another surprise though. You and I might actually be two of a kind. When it comes to passion, we tackle them with a one-track mind, I guess what they call having an artisan spirit. Well, now that you say so, it does add up. Youngfoot and I are childhood friends. Our houses are close and we spend a fair amount of time together over the years. Our parents shared a neighborly relationship too, often having each other's backs in times of need. So it really is some coincidence that we wound up taking the same trip. The world works in mysterious ways. I've been doing some personal research into selective breeding for my goldfish shop over in Langport 2nd Ward. Seeing all that effort actually bear fruit, man, it really gets me choked up inside. I'm sure Meishin feels the same about her cooking.
Be wary of congestion.
Now's the time to put our spirit.
Let's search around.
Hey boss, about that extra order earlier, it was for moving assault van parts, right? Yep, they wanted some spare stockpiles in case of repairs, apparently. Can I please make them? Please? And that is right on cue. You order no better than to think I'd let a feather brain like you with an arm's length of this. But hey, if your nuts and bolts came out serviceable, I'm willing to put them to use. Ah, heck to the yes! Finally my handiwork's gonna be in the latest gear. Now to kick it up Turbo Series style. Oh, for the love of... Maybe start with that mode from the get-go next time. I made a ton of bolts, so now it's back to going nuts making nuts. Today's goal, a nice one, 2000. Let's do this. We don't need that many, you've done that. It's no walk in the park, you'll focus up. Every tool gets its place, or however the saying goes. The boy's finally starting to look like a real artisan. An apprentice artisan's mind. He's still got plenty of ground to cover. There's no shortage of talented engineers and technicians in the aerospace force ranks, by the looks of it. Suppose it's natural they'd have more than just through and through military sorts. I only hope it leads to all this technology being put to more peaceful purposes.
Any day now.
Performing search.
Okay. What a beautiful sunset. It won't be long now before dark. Speaking of which, Father Flicktam rang the evening bell a short bit ago. Apparently he's just received a call of some sort. Left him slightly frantic by the looks of things.
Okay.
Adios. Protect us.
Times are changing at a dizzying pace, which is all the more reason for me to pray that peace be with those I know. Professor Hamilton is one such person, as is her young pupil Katrim. I can only hope he isn't getting up to any hairy hijinks over an Edith. It would seem everybody will have to be sent home early today. This brings me no joy, but I ought to go and inform the worshippers. Well, I better start making my way to Altair. We're planning to put monitor casts out on the street in full force to broadcast the launch in 2 days' time. They're pulling me over to set the operation up, so I can't afford to be on anything less than high gear. Good luck. Man alive, what are the odds? This had me practically walking on air. Is it true that she used to run a courier service for a while, just for the fun of it? Maybe you could contract her to run our deliveries. Imagine all the orders we'd get rolling in. There's room for negotiation here. Gotta have Gillis draft up a proposal stat.
Performing search.
President Grammont is also looking forward to meeting with you as it happens. He wishes to make a proper greeting as well as express his gratitude for your deeds during Crossbell's most recent incident 2 years ago. Really now, the honor is all ours. He did speak with Speaker McDowell over call some time back, but we never interacted in person. Step on his toes and the guy could give even old Blood and Iron a run for his money. Still wouldn't turn down a chance to chat him up. The man is congenial, with a good sense of humor, so keeping conversation shouldn't be an issue. I do hope that the ceremony will prove a pleasant means of dispelling any lingering bitterness recent history may have caused. Oh, we don't hold any ill will at all. It'll be our pleasure to make his acquaintance. How about this afternoon exercise though, huh? What a blast, am I right? Good thing the swordsmanship lessons I've got were just enough for me to keep you guys on your toes. No need to sell yourself short, it was 2 against 1 after all. But speaking of your blade work, would the one who taught you happen to be... Actually, I stopped myself there. Sounds like a curiosity eating away at you. Too bad it's a cluster ball of classified military intel. Best I can say for now is no comment. Green? Huh. Your support in today's exercise won't be in vain. This launch is succeeding if it's the last thing I do. On the second thought, saying all that before the fact might jinx it a little, huh? Anyway, once I'm back safe and retired, I'm thinking it could be fun to pair off with you, Armburst. Huh? Oh yeah? Guess you could say I'm on the market right now, flying solo if you catch my drift. As a freelancer, among other things, well, from what I hear, a guy in your line of work would hook up nicely with a career like me. And besides, I'm going to go out on a limb and say you like a molder. Am I that obvious? It's a tempting offer though. 2 bodies can get a lot more done than 1. Just a minute, Crow. Alright, Melia, enough of the japes. Your support and... We'll take a VIP seat and keep those eyes peeled for humanity's next step forward. My, so both of you were classmates in the Russian's Music Academy. Isn't that lovely? All this travel experience will make a wonderful artistic inspiration. I have a choice of youth. Watching you two make a world your oyster has me jealous. It's a little embarrassing when you put it that way. Besides, Citrus, you're still square in the prime of life yourself, aren't you? If anything, our adolescent exuberance is at risk of being overtaken by yours. Oh well, going around the country and taking in all it has to offer is something I always dreamed of. My dad was the inspiration. He used to talk about how he traveled near and far owning his skills. Is that right? And you say he runs a tavern and inn up north? Ah, then the skills he was owning were culinary. That's certainly one of many ways to lead a life. Put that I could turn back the clock. You girls make my middle-aged self stick out like a sore thumb. Don't say that, Minfa. You're still plenty young. Well, aren't you a flatterer? Tell you what, I'll pick up a tab tonight. The ladies are closing out our first tour day with a little get-together. I'm not the only one outside of their age group, but... the dears are such a joy to be around. Oh, I do have to wonder where my husband's gallivanting off to. No place overly seedy, I should hope. I never got much chance to have any girl time before, so this is nice. This bar and inn is pretty amazing too. There's so many lessons for me to take away. Apparently it's run by a brother-sister duo. We've even got an efficient online reception and delivery ordering system going. Is that how people do things in Basel? Web is so different from our place back home, but it's giving me a culture shock. I think the best part of going on tour is getting to know people you otherwise never would. The joys of traveling are just that much more joyful when you have a diverse bunch to share them with. Well, of course, nothing compares to enjoying this experience alongside a dear friend. Wouldn't you say, Amelie? Most certainly. Not once did I expect us to spend our dinner rubbing elbows with other tourgoers. Nellie and I were meant to be traveling as an exclusive pair, so this was a bit disheartening at first. But in hindsight, I'm rather glad for it. We're in fine company after all. Holy smokes, who could have guessed the talk of the town would just waltz right into our place. And when I asked for an autograph, she actually gave me one, with a smile. I'm gonna frame this for future generations to see. What a stroke of luck. Brings a tear to my eye, it does. Part of me suspects my sister's scheming up some way to profit off this. But, nah, I'm just being paranoid. Not quite. You're back late, Lucas. Alright, how'd exams go? Hey Dad, could I stop by the workshop sometime? Now, where's this coming from? I thought you wouldn't be caught dead in that musty, outdated shack. Your words. Yeah, well, don't get too excited. It's just part of my innovation through research initiative. I'm not keen on helping out of the place, let alone following in their footsteps. But doing my exam prep, I had a thought. New tech begins closest to home. So I thought maybe I should take a look at what you've been doing in the workshop for... You little rascal, you finally realized your old man's all that and the back of metal chips, huh? Don't go putting words in my mouth. This is exactly what I didn't want to ask. My dad's real set in his antiquated ways, whipping off new methods, going on about the soul of a craftsman, whatever that is. But we really got to talking lately. It led me to realize he's not just being straight up dismissive. So now I'm thinking it might not be the worst idea to try and get to know things from his perspective. His workshop may be behind the times, but maybe a college student like me can make a new discovery or two from it. Lucas never did wear his heart on his sleeve, But hey, if it's a grand tour he wants, then it's a grand tour you get. He might not think much of it, but my workshop didn't make a name for itself in Basel by putting out imp precision instruments. Being too long, so I had a chance to razzle-dazzle my boy on the job. Hey Will, you're super good at engineering, right? Can you make me an RC car then? You mean RC as in radio controlled? I've been working on nothing but the salt frame cities, so... Oh, I know. Make me an RC salt frame instead. That's just raising the bar even higher, I swear, Ned. Then again, an RCAF does sound fun. Maybe I'll give it a try in my spare time. Really? Yay! I've been bracing myself for Ned's next request. This one actually sounds fun, though. 3 times going to be a premium for a while, but I'll give it a shot next chance I get. My big sis real makes stuff for me all the time. Like the other day, she used a bunch of leftover parts to build me a model rocket. And next up's gonna be an RC salt frame. Can't wait.
Running a search.
Hope you're having a good one, listeners.
Giska and I'll be heading back to the Space Force base after this to perform our final checks. Hope to say hi to my daughter Millie first, but she looks to have run off someplace or another. I won't be able to return home until our astronaut touches back down, but it is what it is. The girl's got a good head on her shoulders, so she'll be fine. As for me, well, I might get a touch lonely.
Performing search.
See, they're using some seriously impressive technology.
There was this black-haired biker earlier. I could have sworn I've seen her somewhere before. Maybe, nah, no way she'd be in Basel right now. Not with all the final launch prep that needs doing over at Zeku Space Base.
Okay.
Running a search.
If you're looking for Gray, he took an airship back to Edith a little past noon. Daily operations here went a lot more smoothly with him around to help, even if it's just from the morning. Our main bunch got in touch with some concerning news though, just a little bit ago. Should be arriving there right about now. This is off the record, but we do have some idea of how this afternoon's exercise went. You mentioned the defeat Major Millie in a newly unveiled assault frame, right? This comes as a little surprise for 2 former Divine Knight pilots. Your skills are head and shoulders above. Though I do have to question why they feel the need to test Beta F's ability to hold out against you both at once. And now of all times.
Is Daddy gonna be late again?
Basel Institute. Please wait until the tram has come to a complete stop before boarding.
Not something you see every day.
Welcome to the aerospace platform. Please mind your hands and feet when boarding. You may also like to know that this route provides a clear view of Old Canyon. It's one of Basel's most famous picture-perfect sites, especially in the glow of golden hour, so consider giving it a look yourself.
This tram is bound for the Artisinal District.
Well, the orbital microwave may have eluded me, but I've done all the shopping I need. Now it's homeward bound I go. Between online telephone ordering, convenient home appliances, the orbital scooter saving time is easier than ever. You're looking at a brand new Age of Housewifery.
Please, take your time.
Our store is a first-party Verne Company retailer. But now that HQ has joined up with a tech union, the products we stock will likely include more joint developments with RF or ZCF down the road. I'm all for that, believe it or not. There's a real chance this could lead to innovation like nothing we've ever seen.
Let's see.
Running a search.
Shard searching.
Yeah. Once again, I'm in total awe of Vernon Murdoch's sheer technological prowess. We at the Epstein Foundation stood as leaders in the fundamental research field for years on end. But in recent years, both companies have overtaken us in breakthroughs and innovations. You could even say we're developing at a pace too fast to be true. Sure, there's to be a rational explanation though. The Republican Army's been continually revamping its equipment over the last 2 or 3 years. It did feel like things were finally settling down after the AF and X-Alba series were announced last year. But now developments are on the up and up, to the point where it's a tiny bit excessive now that I think about it. We already have way more firepower now than we did during the war against the Empire. I do think a certain show of deterrent is needed now that Calvert's a major continental power. But this level of deployment feels a tiny bit excessive.
Running a search.
It's a whole lot of stuff in the works for our future. But you just let me worry about that. I get it all polished off perfectamundo. Can't tell what all the hinting's about, but with you on the job, I'm sure we can rest as uneasy as ever. Wow, rude. Why do I always get the butt monkey treatment? Maybe you don't see it, but they scouted me for my grease monkey skills, and so far I'm delivering. Besides, back when I first got the offer from, whoopsie, almost let the cat out of the bag. Well, we'll trust you at a proven otherwise, so just try to be careful with everything. By the way, you guys are still heading over to Basel's Pride and Joy later, right? Can't expect me not to tag along, man. I've been dying to fiddle around with that thing. I guess she could come in handy as far as operation and adjustments go. I will confer with Professor Russell on the matter in that case. As one of the individuals who called for the Western Red Tech Union, she will surely be of aid. Perhaps Miss Tita Russell will be as well, considering a track record with ZCF, not to mention as Professor Schmidt's pupil. Okie dokie, now that my business here is done, I'll have to get ready to head back to Zeku. It seems like you're involved in something totally separate from the space program. But I assume this means you'll be prioritizing the ongoing project for now. The simulated flight frame we launched the other day gave us just the data we needed. With it, we can make improvements to our spacesuits and life support equipment. The level we are at is already issue 3 as is, but I've got to put on the finishing touches for Major Emilia. That's more than a few irons in the fire at once. I hope it all goes well for you. Oh, my workload's nothing compared to Yang's. But one I'm more concerned about is Kato. I haven't had much chance to check in on him lately. Plus, the changing of seasons tends to throw him off kilter. How many months worth did I give him last time? Kato's one of Arkwright's assistants, right? Yep, and the student of Professor Hamilton's to boot. Sounds like he's got a lot of complicated stuff going on with him. I'll probably end up stationed at Zeku for a while after this. Wonder if Kato will be alright though. How much did I give him last time again? You know, Director Salvatore Gotti was here just this morning to promote his new movie. He was telling us about an event they're holding for it this evening, and suddenly a call came in for him. Say no more, I'm there to help, he said, and I've got just the costumes and staging for the occasion. What in the world could all that have been about? Alright, I've stocking to do, so could you handle the register for a while, Dennis? It's De Niro, actually. Oh, was it? Sorry, I can't be bothered to remember the mundane details. That's for sure. you kidding me? How does Lou still not remember my name? I've gotta start working above and beyond, or she'll never see me as anything more than a handy-dandy chore machine. Oh, I landed a good contract today. Now I can clock out on a high note. Might not be a bad idea to stop for a drink on my way home, even for the first time in a while. Maybe I invite my friend Cindy along too.
It's happening the day after tomorrow!
Care for some space-themed merchandise at your Basel sightseeing trip? With a launch just around the corner, you want a good souvenir to remember it by. This is the Dread Power Company's new drink. Next time you need an energy boost, just gulp some down and see results. Come to think of it, I hear that the Crown Prince of Alzheimer's in town. Despite sponsoring a Verne Company and Institute of Science, his nation's excluded from the nitty-gritty of a space program. Could that mean he's here to dig his way in himself? Well, I guess his prying isn't for me to pry into. Still, a fellow investor in me can't help but be curious. Well, now that I have some song ideas, it's time for a long overdue return to Anchorville. There really is no place like home, nowhere better to relax and get my thoughts together. Going back all by myself sits a little oddly well. I just always assumed that two of them would be tagging along too. Anchorville, the memories are still with me. Guess I'll never be able to forget about you after all, Raymond. But that's alright, because now I can move on. So rest easy too, wherever you are.
Give maximum energy to try.
Cutie patootie.
Look who's here. My compliments again on your phenomenal showing this afternoon. You're one lighting up the stage, director. Take it this evening was the reason you came to the pavilion earlier today? Your booth babe and promoter back there are some real characters. How do you land them? Oh, just pulled a few strings here and there. And turned out exactly what, as I drafted up. The hype around Perfect Driver Zero's on the hyper-fast track now, baby. Take my word for it. Must have some kind of bargaining chip over them. Oh, before I forget, you ought to sip some of this maximum energy stuff for yourself. Take a cigar that'll blast your tired straight out of here. You're too kind. We'll give it a try later, maybe. Our collaboration with Maximum Energy is proving a monumental success. At this rate, the hype around Perfect Driver Zero's on the hyper-fast track, baby.
Welcome to Basel Motor Pavilion.
Let's search around.
Here, you'll find the latest models from Calvert's four biggest
Dick, I thought you were bringing me to a car event. But with less hot rods and more hot bots. Don't know with me, I didn't know about it either. But man, the outfits on those ladies. Talk about letting it all hang out. Oh, he's always stooling at the drop of a hat. Oh, energy drinks, huh? Am I to understand taking one will give you the same boom as these young ladies? Not the term I'd use in your case, but they probably put a zip in your bones. Boy, though, I came to look at cars only to get a different eyeful instead. Not that you hear me complaining.
Welcome to Basel
The Verne Company's got one fine palette.
Any day now.
Gracious me, coming along to the motor pavilion out of sheer curiosity has led to quite the discovery. While they may be different from supplements and purple remedies, these energy drinks seem revitalizing all the same. Natural and traditional medicines are already deeply ingrained in Langport, so publicity for products such as these is surprisingly scant there. Being raffling on whether to buy a new car for work, so I came by to see the upcoming releases. But what do I find is that but the collaborative event of a lifetime. Lady Luck must be smiling down on me. Now comes the real William Mira question though. What genius mind is behind those promo models' costumes?
Welcome to Basel Motor Pavilion. Here, you'll find the latest models from Calvert's.
Lino has the unshakable web for economy vehicle. Even on the silver screen may hardly ever take the spotlight. But in Perfect Driver Zero, one of our Opel scooters does exactly that, if only for a short while. With any luck, it'll fuel another fat frenzy over them. Next month's premiere can't happen soon enough. Ingot brand models play a significant role in Perfect Driver Zero. Sports cars are our company's specialty after all. If the cards line up right, the movie will be a spark plug that supercharges our new lineup sales. Are you enjoying our collaborative event with the Dread Power Company? Vehicles from all four manufacturers will be featured prominently in Perfect Driver Zero, releasing in theaters next month. Supposedly there's also be an appearance from an unreleased custom car. You should check it out in theaters. Who could have guessed Hong Li was behind this? But he admitted himself, so it must be true. Can't thank you all enough for finding the cause of the problem and a middle ground solution to boot. The underlying issue is deeper than I realized, but I'm committed to calling for improvements on that front, one way or another. Well, now that I've stocked up on what I needed, it's back to Anchorville for me. Was hoping to pop by and say hello to Giscard, but he seems pretty swamped, so I'll hold off this time. Might just send a congratulatory gift this way, though, if Project Startaker pans out. Land surveys of East Zemuria are being planned under the scope of Project Startaker. The Transcontinental Railroad's long-time goal of actually scratching from one end of Zemuria to the other might finally be in reach. Man, how exciting is that? It has us folks in the industry on the edge of our cabooses. I'm told your exercises were completed without incident. Well done, everybody. We arrange for your transportation to the capital tomorrow, so please take the rest of today to relax. I suggest doing some sightseeing in Basel before you leave. The engineers on your end have been going to the Space Force base to provide technological guidance, correct? Yes, we've also been collaborating with Giftcast Workshop and are taking some of the maintenance. That being said, any core elements fall under the sole purview of the Aerospace Force. I told tell of this, but the level of confidentiality here is absolutely absurd. Not even armament development goes to such lengths, it gets me rather curious. I second that. The most I've heard is that it's all in line with the presidential office's intentions. I told tell of it, but this level of confidentiality is absolutely absurd. Is the space program truly such a massive hoard of technological innovation? If only I knew.
That's Professor Cronkite.
I finished clearing out the monsters just outside the city, so that pretty much wraps up my daily agenda for the moment. The factory clusters over in that area have been going full bore recently, so our work's piling up on that end. But as of right now, there haven't been any reports of disappearances or strange monsters like there are in the capital and so forth. That's something to be grateful about, but I just hope it's not a calm before the storm. As it is now, Basel doesn't have any major disturbances or incidents going on, not outwardly at least. But in a city so closely tied to the space program, assuming nothing will happen is just asking to be proven wrong. Apparently there were active Jägers about during the day too. You can't say for sure there won't be another mess like theirs. Are you alright, Krimo? I feel like I haven't seen you participating very much in our walking tours this afternoon. Don't mind me, I'm just not in the best of spirits. Well, if there's anything going on, you're free to come talk to me about. I don't know the deeper situation, and I won't overstep my bounds. But if your goal in traveling is to put your feelings behind you, I can help. Not that it's any of my business, of course. Thank you, I appreciate the concern. So she noticed. Did it show my face that much? She's right, though. There'll be no point in this trip at all if I spend the entire thing sulking. I could never just tell anyone to just have fun and get over whatever baggage they've got like it's no big deal. Still, turning your head away from the past and living for the future is the best thing you can do for yourself. And the ideal way to do that is by traveling, if you ask me. Hopefully, Krima starts feeling a little more positive soon.
No.
I've been on extended leave as is. But any longer and even would be disappointed in me. Okay, Kuma, no more letting the past tie you down, and to take this opportunity to broaden my focus.
Running a search.
They're currently fine-tuning the city's security measures. Apparently a military exercise is scheduled for the day after next, during which air fleets will be passing over Basel. Foreign delegations will also be in attendance, so we want to work toward making a proper announcement. Come to think of it, there's apparently been some activity on the Kowloon financial front lately. Or, well, maybe I should say the Heiyu front? Doesn't seem related to the space craze, but either way, better for us ordinary folk not to go craning our necks outside our lanes.
Shard searching.
We've been informed about yours. Please allow us to provide you with the finest hospitality this hotel has to offer. Tonight's dinner will be a first-class Eurasian-style full-course meal. A variety of VIP services are also being arranged for. Anything to ensure your stay is a comfortable one. Of course, thank you. Romantically, I feel as restless as ever. Let's just make our rounds and see what turns up.
Shard searching.
Good, but I think we have everything. Then I would end this episode here in our hotel room. Until next time, I am Ace, and don't get lost.
Respectable results.
We've ranked up.
Who are we to refuse?